Hello, my friends. Welcome to the Handpan Story Hour. In this recording, we're going to be talking about a couple instruments that I find very special. And this is an instrument that I encountered many years ago. It might have even been this exact one when I was at Ellie Manette's musical instrument shop in West Virginia. And I'd purchased my first handpan from DB Handpans in Italy. And it was a great starter pan for back then. This is before you could easily get a handpan. So you pretty much took whatever you could possibly purchase and get. And it was great for a while. I didn't really play it very gently, and I kind of knocked it out of tune, and then I tried to retune it myself. And I had some success, but I couldn't get the fifth to get back into place. So on a trip to Virginia and also North Carolina and the Smoky Mountains, I decided to drop it off at Ellie Manette's musical instrument for Rob Davis, who's a tuner trained by Ellie Manette, to retune this instrument. And the magic of Manette musical instruments is that Ellie Manette was the first one to really bring the steel drum to the United States and to develop this instrument into what it is today. There's all sorts of feelings about, whether they should have remained in Trinidad, the origins of this, but he was really the person that brought it into the performance realm and made instruments that were professional quality instruments, in tune, well tuned. And a lot of our handpan makers, like David Berry, kind of learned in that realm as well and respected and thought of his work as a resource for early handpan tuning. In fact, Panart even would give credit to Ellie Manette's work in getting them started on their instruments. So there was a company called Terrapan. And Terrapan was, I believe, in Virginia or West Virginia. And they produced these instruments that were pretty early Hong-style handpans. And they were all different varieties. People like Daniel Waples and also Sam Mayer both worked with them throughout the years. And they produced a lot of instruments, and they were very highly sought after because there was only a handful of makers like Pantheon Steel, Saraz, and Terrapan in the US back then. So people were on endless waiting lists. You would be paying probably $2,000 to $3,000, sometimes more, for instruments. And you'd wait your turn, and eventually you'd get one, if you were lucky. Back then, I had put myself on a waiting list. And I thought, maybe this day will never come that I'll get one, but at least I'll be on the list. And if the opportunity arises and I have the money, I'll purchase it. It didn't happen. So I somehow, many years later, like I said, went to Ellie Manette's shop to have this cheaper handpan retuned, and I saw a handpan that looked just like this one. And I got to try a bunch of the instruments that were on the shelf that Rob Davis was fine-tuning for Terrapan back then. So it was a really interesting crossover with the handpan I desired and then the handpan that I got. So I wanted to show you an instrument that I just acquired at Pantasia. I bought this very reasonably priced Terrapan, and it's beautiful. It has the sort of traditional sound of the earlier handpans, and I love the design on it. Super interesting instrument, and these ones are tuned in the higher pitch like the Hong is, so it has a completely different feeling. So you'll see what that sounds like as we go through. So let me take a look at the bottom side of this. So we've got this really interesting port. Two notes tuned into it. And looks like there's a handprint here at one time as well. And we have E-flat Ionian 1 2014 Terrapan. And it's E-flat, B-flat, C, D, E-flat, F, G, A-flat, B-flat, E-flat. So it's a kind of a happy major sounding scale. This is what it sounds like. So the fun thing about this handpan is it has a very distinct sounding ding. And I really like this because it has a nice activation on the harmonic. It also has an octave and third, which gives it kind of the hung sparkle. So it has a different feel than other handpans. Most handpans are tuned octave and fifth nowadays, but the early bell-like sounding hung had that tuning that made them feel very different. And this is more the first generation hung versus the second or the integral. This instrument, to me, I like it. I like the scale a lot, but it's very sentimental because it's a special point in history, and it really captures a particular snapshot of the handpan journey. So I hope you enjoyed learning about this beautiful Terrapan E-flat Ionian, and I'll leave you with a little bit of music on this old beast. Thanks for listening, friends, and I look forward to telling you about another handpan soon.